Hello and welcome to another edition of What Does the Giraffe Say Media with me, Kathleen Retourne. We're an organisation that aims to connect people in conservation by holding live interviews on social media. Today, I am very happy. We've got a Christmas special with two wonderful ladies who are going to be talking all about chimpanzees. And we've got Rebeca, who is from the Chimpanzee Rehabilitation Centre of Tchimpounga, and Itsaso from the Lwiro Primate Rescue and Rehabilitation. So, Rebeca, we're going to start off with you. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the rescuing of chimpanzees.
How I got involved? A long time ago. I'm a veterinary doctor. I study veterinary medicine, and I specialize in wildlife. And I came to Congo like in 2004, a long time ago. And I came to Congo because I have this dream of releasing chimpanzees into the wild, no? And that year, the only places that they were doing that was in Congo. It was Help Congo. And I started working for Help Congo, and in the middle of the forest, following chimpanzees in the forest with radio colors. It's amazing. You love chimpanzees and the forest when you do something like that. But at the end of the day, I started working with the Jane Goodall Institute, and we started to work more, not only in the rescue, in trying to find solutions for this illegal trade of chimpanzees. And now is that the thing that we do is we rescue chimpanzees, we do education programs, and we support the government for the law enforcement.
And was there a particular moment where you decided chimpanzees was the direction that you wanted to get in? Was there a story, or you grew up loving them?
I grew up in Spain, and in a place, I grew up in the middle of the mountains, and I was always in love with animals. And I have this moment when I was very little, that there was a ranger close to my house that saved a lot of animals, and saved the animals and released after a big fire and released them back into the wild. And for me, that was my dream. And chimpanzees in special is because chimpanzees they are really close to us. And I saw films and about Jane Goodall or gorillas, but great apes for me, they were really, I had curiosity for know more about them. And I started working with chimpanzees in captivity. And working with chimpanzees in captivity, I was all the time saying, I want more. I want to see them in the wild. That's the reason that I took that plane to Congo. But when you arrive to Congo, but you don't know when you are going to leave.
I know it very well. We've got a question straight off the bat from Stacey Saddlefield. She's a big supporter of the show. Hi, Stacey. And she's asking how Wunda, Zizi, Binazara and Benalia doing. I hope I pronounced those somewhat correctly.
Wunda and Zizi, Wunda is in Chinsulu Island. She has a baby that is called Hope or Kiminu. And she's doing great. She's doing amazing. Ceci is still in the rehabilitation center. She's in the area that we have babies going to the forest every day and doing like the class of going to the forest and learn what behavior they should have and be a normal chimpanzee. But Ceci is doing great. Ceci was a chimpanzee that we rescued in Angola, in another country, and he's alive. And I don't even know how it's possible that he's alive. It's it's a chimpanzee that has a scar in his face like that, and it's a machete. And it's impressive to see a chimp like that, but he's all the time laughing. He's so happy. Even with this big scar, that was when he was a baby, of course. And he is the dominant in the group.
Fantastic news. Sasso, if we can hand over to you as well, if you could just tell us a little bit about you and why chimpanzees are so important for you.
I studied biology after working much in the years. I arrived there in prepare my the circumstance in 2015 almost 8 and here.
Your connection's a little bit crackly. We're struggling to hear you a little bit. I'm not sure what the best bet is, and maybe try and come back in again on a different thing, and we'll see if we can get you better, or maybe you seem to be a bit better now. Maybe we can try again there.
Saying I have to come to Lwiro in 14 and 6 months volunteer and circumstances and now more than years that I'm Lwiro.
We seem to have a bit of problems with Itsaso's stream at the minute. Hopefully we can get her back in. She is in the middle of Africa at the minute and the connections aren't always the best, so please do bear with us. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, Rebecca, could you tell us a little bit about your organisation and the work that you're doing to help protect primates?
I work for the Jane Goodall Institute, and in special in Congo, we have a rehabilitation center, and we have a protected area that is around the rehabilitation center. And rehabilitation center takes chimpanzees from all the country, in a country level, and we rescue them, we rehabilitate them, and we give them the opportunity to go back to the forest. And we have rangers and we have a protected area. And the thing is that we always work in these three directions at the same time. Education, for show to the people that it's illegal to hunt chimpanzees. Formal and informal education. Formal education in schools, trying to increase the empathy of kids, of trying to think that in the new generation they are going to have more empathy for this species. Informal education, when we do billboards and to everybody, like the billboard that I have behind that is about protected species that is called the intouchable, that is in French, that you cannot touch. That is like, and we have that all around Congo in different, in all the roads. Now we do this kind of public awareness, and we work with other NGOs for do law enforcement, for help the government, because at the end of the day, it's the government that needs to do law enforcement, but we just give support to them for be able to do law enforcement and to do all the process, all the prosecution after the confiscation of the alive animals.
And I'm going to bring in some pictures here of some of the chimpanzees that you have at the sanctuary. How do they typically come to you, and how do you find out about the fact that there are these animals that are needing help?
They come, the way that they come is something that is broken your heart. It's like, it's not only they come full of wounds. Sometimes imagine that they're in the middle of the forest with their mother, and a hunter arrived to the forest, a poacher arrived to the forest, kill the mother and try to take the baby, cut the mother in pieces in front of the baby, and they hold the baby and they grab him in very bad, or even hit the baby, and the baby watch that since he's very little, watch how a human is killing the mother in front of him. And after they come to the sanctuary with a trauma, they come with a big trauma, and we need to heal their wounds and heal their trauma. We need to give them love. That's the priority. In the quarantine period, they cannot be with other chimpanzees until we do all the health checks. They stay with us, with the caregivers, and they stay day and night. We need to give them love. That's the truth. It's the love that they lost in the forest with their mother. And because they are primates like us, it's so important, this attachment that they need to receive when they are babies. And when they cry, we need to be there. When they need food, we need to be there. And we are there, we are their support until they have, after the quarantine, we integrate with other chimpanzees and they start to develop the normal behavior, and we slowly bring them back to the forest and we do all the rehabilitation process.
And which chimpanzee is this? Somebody's asking.
She's Wunda. She's a very famous chimpanzee. It's famous because she's special. She's the one that is in the film that giving a big hug to Jane Goodall when we took her to the island and we released her in the island. It was something so special. And even for Jane, when this thing happened, Jane said, "Oh my God, that's never ever happened something like that in my life. That a chimpanzee give me a hug like that. It's a hug of just, let's say, please be with me. Thank you for this. It's amazing."
It is an incredible video, and if anyone gets the chance, I recommend you checking it out on either YouTube or on their Facebook pages. It is a lovely thing to see. Itsaso, looks like you're looking a bit better now. So could you tell us a little bit about how the chimpanzees typically end up coming to you?
Yeah, so I think Rebeca said it before. So every chimpanzee who comes to Lwiro is because they have killed their mom and probably several other members of the family. And they are so smart that, of course, they remember all the traumatic experience. Not only imagine the mama is in the tree with the baby in the arms, and then someone shoots the mama will drop to the ground and the baby will be still attached to the mama. So, and then the poachers will come and take the baby away from the arms of the mom. And after that, it depends on the case. They spend more or less time with the poacher, but all the time that they are with the poacher, they are mistreated. They don't have enough food. They are hit sometimes. Sometimes, most of the times, they attach them with a rope and the rope cuts the skin. So most of the chimpanzees arrive with wounds. And so you can imagine the level of psychological but also physical trauma that they arrive to the sanctuary.
And then Stacey's also asking if you could give us an update on Binacera and Banalia.
Yeah, Binacera is doing great. She's fatty. She loves to eat. She's all the time eating. And yes, she's getting better and better. As we explain in social media, she still has some kind of abnormal behavior. So she doesn't have the social skills that a normal chimpanzee will have. So she's having some problems to establish relationship with the other babies. And Banalia, our last rescue, yes, she's tiny. She's 6 months old. She only has the front teeth. So it's a really hard job because she cannot eat for herself. She cannot walk. She doesn't know how to walk. As human chimpanzees, they need to learn to walk. So yes, but we are so glad that she's eating well and she's in good health. So I think she will be fine. Yeah.
And we've got a question coming through from Winnie. Hi, Winnie, another regular to the show. Lovely to see you. And she's asking, do they cry for a long time when they first arrive out of being so stressed?
Or who is?
Rebecca, if you want to go, and then it's Itsaso if you want to add any onto that.
The thing that, yes, when they arrive, something that for me is really touching, is the first time I saw that for me was really touching. They come and they hate humans, and you need to be able to hug them, you need to give them love again. And they need to spend, I stay at night with some of them when they are very sick. And the first night that you stay with them, they wake up and they start crying at night. And they wake up and say, "Wah, wah," and it's like so stressed. And you need to touch them. And okay, it's fine. And you need to calm them. And they wake up again. And they wake up like this, like maybe 5 times at night. And you need to be with them. And the second night, maybe they wake up 2 times. And the third night, only 1 time. And like this, slowly, they start to be more relaxed. But the first day is something that even some of the chimpanzees, they start with, if you are not with them, they start with these stereotypical behaviors of doing like that, because they need just to have somebody that they need to hug and to feel safe. And that's the reason that they are crying until you are there for give them this love that they need.
Are you seeing the same thing, Itsaso? Are you finding that they are hating humans upon arrival and you have to work it to earn their trust?
Yeah, so of course it depends on the case, but yeah, they often cry at night and they have nightmares. You see them sleeping but crying in the dreams, and as Rebeca said, waking up like. And for me, Banalia, our last rescue, she wakes up at night still and call her mom. She's like so confused of what's going on, and she's still calling for her mom. So that's heartbreaking, of course.
For sure. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for the work you're doing to help them and your caregivers as well. One of the things I love about your organisations, I know some people might be wondering where Jenny Desmond is. She was due to come on today as well as part of the show. Unfortunately, she's come down with COVID and is a bit too sickly to come on. So I hope you join us in wishing her all the better. But one of the things I love about the work that you all do together is, even though you're separate organisations, instead of competing for the attention or the funds or that kind of stuff, you're very supportive of one another. You're always sharing ideas and stories. Was this a conscious decision? And why do you think it is important to work together? If we start with you, Rebeca, and then we'll go to you, Itsaso.
I think that it's very important that we work together because we have the same objective. Here we are in Congo, we are in DRC, we are in Guinea because we want to save the lives of the chimpanzees. We want to stop the illegal traffic. And sometimes the illegal traffic is not in a country level, it's in a regional level. And if we don't work together, we never are going to raise our objective. And it's so important. And sometimes, for example, in Lwiro, they can learn something about health of chimpanzees. And if they share with us, we will save other chimpanzees. Or in our place, we can learn something about, I don't know, public awareness campaigns. And if we don't share with them, why not? You know, they are going to spend more time learning than we learn already. And for all of us, we collaborate very well. The sanctuaries in Africa, we work very well together. Now I'm working with Jenny, for example. We are trying to rescue chimpanzees in Guinea-Bissau, and I'm helping in the health checks. I travel to Guinea-Bissau to do the health checks, and after it's Jenny that is going to take the chimpanzees in Liberia. That's the normal work that we all the time we are calling us, how we can do that, how we can save this chimp. You are going to take this chimp. We collaborate all the time.
Yes, same here. Like as Rebeca said, we all collaborate, and because we have the same objective, that is save the chimpanzees. No, so it's not because my chimpanzees are more important. No, all of them are important. So we need to collaborate to save the species and in all the habitats of Africa. So Rebeca, for example, was here in Lwiro helping us with a case, Suena. And every time that we have some issue, we call her or we call other sanctuaries. We are all the time communicating each other.
And do you find that this is a common thing? I know that when I've interviewed other people in conservation, they've said that they wish there had been more collaboration, and rather than it being a competitive. Do you find that this is a unique thing to you guys, or is it a common thing across?
In our case, if I can talk, Itsaso,
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
In our case, I think that it's very important that we have we all are part of an organization that is called PASA, Pan Africa Sanctuary Alliance, and we meet all of us. We meet once a year, all the directors or all the veterinarians, and we meet in a different place in Africa, and we just share experience. And that moment is so important because we are isolated. We work in places really remote, and we work in something that is so frustrating. We are fighting against something that looks impossible to fight, but we are doing the same in different countries. And the day that we meet all together, in all the members of PASA, it's a moment that is like, okay, you are like me, and we're still working together, and we share experience and make us to be to work together with the same objective and keep going, and we are like a family. We always say that when we go to PASA, it's our family, and we have the same problems, and we look for solutions for one and to the other. I think that that's important for us to make that possible and to work together.
And then we've got a comment coming through for you, Itsaso, and she's Stacey's asking that you seem to have had a large number of rescues this year. Do you think that's because people are more aware of the horrors of wildlife trafficking of baby chimps and are reporting them to the crimes?
Yes, this year is the worst for us. We have rescued 15 chimpanzees. I think there are several reasons for this. One is, of course, poaching exists, poaching is there, and they are still killing chimpanzees. But second, our partners like ICCN is the local wildlife authority are working hard and are doing their job, but I mean, they are really put in efforts, no, in patrolling the park, in arriving to these places, and or no, we could say also that in some
Oh, you're cracking up a bit there, Itsaso. So I'll.
So
okay, I'll go on. I'll go on to the next question.
So some of the cases, yeah, hear me?
Sorry, you were cracking up a little bit there, but yeah, carry on. So you were saying some of the cases were.
No, it can be also there is more awareness and of our work, and that the chimpanzees are protected species, and that it's illegal to hold them. So some of the calls that we had is because people are more aware.
Excellent, thank you so much. One of the other things I wanted to touch on as well is conservation is often quite seen as quite a dominantly male industry, and obviously you're females in this industry, and you're dealing with quite tough subjects and dealing with illegal wildlife crime and that kind of stuff, which is awesome and it's great. What kind of challenges have you seen, and then how do you combat that? Rebecca, if you want to go first.
No, Itsaso can go. That now has a good connection.
Okay.
Now, I think in primatology, I don't know, there are a lot of females working, and when we met in PASA, Pan-African Sanctuary Alliance meetings, most of us are females. So I don't find any difficulties being a female really doing this work. So it's true that we don't do the confiscations. That's ICCN, that's Congolese authorities' work. So we are here to rescue, rehabilitate, and possibly in the future release. No, but I don't think I have any difficulties being a woman.
Rebecca, is there anything you want to add to that?
Or maybe I'm too positive.
No, it's good.
I like Itsaso. I think that, for example, in the government, I think that is even best that I'm a woman. That I have better in the meetings. They try to understand better. They are not in conflict with me. They are more like, okay, we want to help you in work together with you. It's easy at the government level. Maybe if I have some trouble, sometimes it's in the forest. When you need to work, when you need to follow chimpanzees in the forest, monitoring them in the forest, and it's hard because it's here in Congo we have elephants, we have gorillas, and it's like wild, and you need to really run in the forest sometimes and come back to at night to the camp, and sometimes if you have a new team, they are going to test you. They are going to test that if you are able to do it or not, and that's the thing that you need to really be brave. No, be really brave. Even if you are not brave, you need to be brave or have the respect. But once the people have respect for you, that's really easy because they create like this image, like you are. For example, in my case, I have two kids. They are twins, and in Congo it's called mangudis. The woman that they have two kids, they are called mangudis. When they see me go into the forest at night or during the day or doing things that they are not used to do, like for example, if a python get stuck in a wire of the fence, and I take the python is no poison. I take the python and I release the python. For them, it's like, oh, she's taking a snake with the hands, and it's no, and it release the snake and don't kill the snake. They are like, okay, but it's because she's mangudi. They always try to find a reason. They said because she's mangudi, because in Congo I'm special because I have twins. That I am mangudi. That they only found a reason, no, but why I can do that things. And once you have that, you have the respect of everybody, because here they say one thing to others, they speak one to the other, and everyone say, no, she's the mangudi, and you're like, okay, now I don't know, like, they think that I'm an error or something like that. It's like
And do you find that do chimpanzees react differently depending on males and females as a caregiver, or not really? Or do you ever see any things there?
What do you think, Itsaso? Do you think that there is a difference?
I think
Complex question.
I think so. In my opinion, when they start to grow up, like when they are older than 6 years old, I think there is a difference, and I think they see the men, like may. I think Rebecca, I don't know you, but I think they see it like more like authority, And I found for groups of chimpanzees older than 6 years old, when they are already becoming too strong, not too strong like normal strong, but I feel like for men is an easiest job than for females.
Did you want to add anything to that, Rebecca?
Yes, maybe it's true that when the chimpanzees, when if you live, you need to work with them in the forest. If you are a male, that you have authority, that is true. But really, when they are used to you in the forest, I cannot see, for example, with me, I cannot see a difference of an adult male with me or an adult man. I cannot see that when they are in the forest. But when they are in the forest, you don't interact with them. You are not. They are in the forest. You need to tell them go into the dormitory or things like that. You don't need to put authority to them. You are just an observer, and I cannot see a real difference. But I don't know. It depends because, for example, we don't have working with adult chimpanzees in the forest. We don't have caregivers, females.
Sure.
And I don't have examples.
No, that's right. I was just curious to see if there was a clear kind of difference there. If people are watching this back home and they're loving the work that you're doing and are wanting to maybe do something similar, how do you go about getting into doing the work that you're doing? What's the process, and what advice would you give?
If I can give an advice, is just follow your passion and be just have a dream and follow your dream and think that the dreams become possible when you put all your passion on that, and don't give up. Just go ahead, and the more important thing is to be professional. Is follow your dreams but be professional at the same time, And I think the things at the end of the day is if you are really in with that direction, the direction things happen.
Itsaso, do you want to lead into that?
Totally agree with Rebecca, and also like be aware that maybe you need to do a lot of volunteer work, and maybe at the beginning you don't have a high salary. In conservation, we don't have high salaries, so but always be professional everywhere you go. This is a very small world, so everyone knows everyone, so you need to give your best in every single one of the positions you get, even if it's like a volunteer.
Yeah. I mean, you were touching it on there earlier about volunteering. What's the best, if someone, are people able to volunteer at your organisations? Has COVID kind of stopped that, or what's the situation there?
In my place, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. No, in Lwiro, we don't accept volunteers for the moment because of COVID, but I know other sanctuaries in they are accepting volunteers.
And Rebecca?
In our place, we don't have volunteer program. We don't have volunteer program because it's risky, and for several reasons we don't have a volunteer program. But it's also said there are other sanctuaries in Africa that they have a really strong volunteer program, like Velvet Foundation. I think that they have one, or CCC. There are several sanctuaries that they have volunteers, that they accept volunteers.
Excellent. And yes, I think the best thing to do is to go on to probably like the PASA website and have a look at the different organisations there and see if there's options for people to go out and do that volunteering. Now, you both work, obviously, doing the same sort of work for the same cause. Are there similar issues that you're facing? And then kind of on the flip side of that, are there issues that you face that are just kind of unique to where you are?
We face a lot of issues that are similar, but at the end, every country is unique in some aspects. Itsaso can be she can say something about her country is really different to my country, and even the threats of the chimpanzees are different in each country. And really, the basic about how to deal in the day-to-day basis in a sanctuary is the same everywhere, but at the end, with the threats for chimpanzees are different, and the threats for humans too are different.
I guess it's kind of a different culture for the chimpanzees as well, depending on where they are and how they're the environment they are that they're being brought up in. Itsaso, for you, what sort of similarities do you see, and what do you see that's unique for your location?
DRC. Rebeca calls DRC the bad Congo. So we have more insecurity, we have more instability. There are a lot of rebels here. So I think that's a big, it makes everything different to have so much rebels in this Congo.
For sure enough. Do you ever get scared living where you're living with the environment and dealing with the people that are kind of, poaching and doing the illegal wildlife trade?
I always say Lwiro is like a special place. It's like a bubble. People who lives here has a study. Most of them has master, PhD. So I feel lucky to live in Lwiro. But it's true that sometimes you hear shootings at night, and that's scary. So sometimes when you feel the insecurity, then is when you realize where you are living.
Sure. And then if people are watching this and they want to get to behind you guys and give you some support, what would be the best way for them to do that in terms of, would it be like financial or giving their time or helping with social media or volunteering in those kind of ways? What would be the best way? I mean, I know, for example, with your organisation, we had a lady who made a song for you guys and did a concert to raise funds for the organisation, which proved to be a great success. Have you got any thoughts of what other people can do to help you guys out and ways for them to be able to donate? Who wants to take that one?
You're here.
I think for us, I mean, in the last year, private donors has become very important, especially during COVID. A lot of grants were canceled. So thanks to the people who donate, we have been able to survive without any complication. And as I always say, it doesn't need to be big amount of money, but a lot of people donating $10, $20, it makes a huge difference for us to be able to feed the animals and to pay the workers, basically. And secondly, I think it's very important for the people who follow our job, for the people who love chimpanzees, to create awareness between their families, their friends. And we know a lot of people, we know there are people who still want primates as pets. And we ask our followers to create awareness about what is behind to wanting a primate as pet, and also to denounce all the social media posts in Instagram, in Facebook, where they show primates being dressed up or behave like showing like clones, no? So this post needs to be reported too. So it's what I will ask to the people.
Yeah, I completely agree. So if you are watching this and you see posts that are inappropriate, then do report them, and hopefully we can start getting less and less of this stuff happening. Rebecca, for you, you're part of the Jane Goodall Institute. So how does that work with you in terms of support and donations?
Yes, for me, I see the same of Itsaso, that individual donors are so important, and just going into the web of the Jane Goodall Institute and seeing in what way they can help is just perfect. But that's perfect for support the projects on the ground and the work that we are doing. But at the same time, like Itsaso said, is the money that people can give, but there is another part that is important. Chimpanzees are disappearing because the habitat disappeared. And the responsibility of this problem of the habitat disappearing because the legal logging happening in these countries is not only in these countries. It's the people from outside that is demanding this wood. And sometimes we don't realize how important is take decisions every day when we go to the supermarket and we buy food. And it's just to check in that it's not from the palm oil is creating a lot of problems in some countries, like they are devastating forests for monocultives of palm oil. And that's so important that the individual decision every day when you go to the supermarket to say no to that, I'm going to buy other product that doesn't have palm oil. Or I want to buy a table, I'm going to buy a table that comes from wood that is in a plantation, not from the forest. When you take these decisions, you are saving chimpanzees, gorillas, elephants. Yeah. And the support of each person that is in this world makes a huge difference.
Completely agree. Yeah, great advice. Okay, well, I've only got one more question left. If you're watching this back home and you would like to put a question, then please just pop it in the comments section and I will be able to do that. If you're watching it and it's not live, then please do still put your question in and we'll try and get back to you with a response as soon as possible. So what I wanted to ask you guys was, we touched on it earlier, the animals are coming in a really bad state. You're having to see some pretty tough things and deal with some pretty tough things. I mean, I know I can just watch a documentary and I'm in tears just watching the show, but you're actually living it. How do you keep positive and motivated to keep going and keep doing the work that you're doing?
We keep motivated because we have hope. Because there is a window open. And for example, in my Congo, we saw a huge difference since we started with this triangle approach that we have, like 10 years ago, we have 15 chimpanzees coming to the sanctuary, 12, 10 arriving, but we started working these three directions, doing law enforcement, doing public awareness, and captive care. And now this year, we didn't have any chimpanzee that arrived to the center, no one orphan. And we are even taking chimpanzees from other countries like Angola. The thing is that things can be terrible, but if we work together in the same with the same objective, and we are there, passionate, and we don't give up, we can save the chimpanzees, of course, and we can save gorillas. Yes.
Yeah, same as Rebeca, but also I will add that for me, it's life that we save. I mean, to see the change, know how they arrive and how after giving love and care, they become like a real chimpanzee, and how, like the picture of Busakara, how she arrived with no teeth, like a real baby, and now she's all grow up and happy and living with a chimpanzee family. So for me, is what makes me keep going and fighting.
I love that. I love there's so much hope and passion with both of you ladies. It's so clear for people to see. We've got a question coming through and someone's asking if when you're doing the introductions to the chimpanzees with their new families, I guess, how does that work? Is it a slow process? And how do you know what chimpanzees to place them with?
It's something really complex, and it's different when you integrate the new arrivals to the group of babies. For example, is different because you need to do it slowly, and the caregiver that was doing the quarantine with the baby need to be in integration, helping the new one. And the thing that is very difficult for us is to integrate adults. When you need to integrate adults, they are individuals. They come from different areas, for different families. And it's something really that you need to work a lot in the personality of each one, and to work in the integration process, how you are going to do it, and collect data, behavioral data, for see how they are doing. We check 3 kind of categories of behavior, like aggressive behaviors, submissive behaviors, or like, aggressive, submissive behavior, and Itsaso, help me. What is the other one? Anyway, you need to collect data about the behavior and see how they are doing in the different steps of the integration, and really depends on how is the evolution for the success or not of the integration. And it's so difficult. It's one of the more difficult things that we have at the sanctuary.
Yeah, actually, I learned a lot from Rebeca. She teaches me all about integrations. And yeah, I will add that it depends on each individual. And yeah, sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. We have been integrating a chimpanzee for more than a year. So it depends also on the personality of each of the chimpanzees. But yeah, it's complex, but it's beautiful. And once you get it into the group, then it's like, wow, it's amazing. Yeah.
Affiliative behavior is the other one. Affiliative and submissive behaviors.
Excellent. I mean, it's such an incredible job that you guys are doing. Thank you so much. And I know it's a lot of hard work and emotional, but the rewards must be fantastic when you see them actually getting to be a proper chimpanzee again. So thank you. We've had some lovely comments coming through as we've been talking, lots of support, lots of kind words from all over the world, people in Africa, America, South America, Europe. So you know you've got a nice fan base cheering all of you guys on for the work that you're doing. So we're going to wrap up now, but is there anything you'd like to finish with before we say goodbye?
No, I think we touched most of the points. And yeah, as I say, yeah, now that Christmas is coming, please don't buy any wildlife. It's horrible what we are seeing here, and it's horrible the life that any people will give them in their houses. So please don't buy any parrot, any lizard, any wild animal. Just let them be wild.
Rebeca, anything you'd like to finish with?
Yes, my message is that we should have hope, that we can do together, that we can do it. That is, we work together, all of us, from different parts of the world in the same direction. We can save chimpanzees and gorillas, but we need to be realistic, and we need to think in our everyday, what we do every day in our house, in our house, what we buy, what we don't buy, what is our behaviors in front of the supermarket, we can say.
Completely agree. And what a lovely way to finish from you both. We've had such a nice message of hope and passion and love for the wildlife. So thank you both very much for coming on the show. Thank you everyone for watching. Again, thank you for all your nice comments and likes and shares. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it a like, comment and share. The more people that see it, the more awareness we can do to help these incredible animals. And this is also being recorded. So if you didn't manage to get us at the start, you will be able to watch the whole thing on our Facebook page at a time to suit you. But for me, thank you very much for coming on, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
you.